Hi guys. Um, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on today. I'm a bit hoarse because I've been crying a lot, but you know, goes with the territory, right? Um, I've also been getting seizures, so I might do what I call blank out. That's what I call my seizures. Uh, sorry. So anyway, there's a bunch of shit I could do. Probably should do. Um, like, if there's an all good God, why didn't my dad die of cancer? I mean, if we're talking about people have to die, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Um, the problem is all the pain and suffering. Why did he have to go through all that pain and suffering? If there's an all good God and an all powerful God. Hey, big zebra. So, I mean, and I took care of him for, the last 5 years of his life. And he really didn't start going downhill until, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. But I've noticed I lived in an ALF before, um, because my bitch, the mom, or my mom, the bitch, whichever you prefer. And, I also worked as a caregiver, right? So I've noticed that when they go downhill very, very quickly. Okay, so I'm sorry about not being, online very often. Um, like I said, I've been getting seizures, so I've been sleeping a lot more. And it's just a grief thing. Um, you know, I may need a medicine adjustment um when, you know, sufficient time has passed and maybe they aren't getting any better. But for right now, it's a grief thing. And so I went to the neurologist and she doesn't want to put me on any more medication right now because she thinks it's just grief. And I understand that. That's fine. No big deal. But because of that, I've been sleeping a lot. And, you know, I have to find, Thank you, Marianne. Um, Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of YouTubers like Vice Rhino does. You know, he had people cover for him. I don't have that. So, for my members, and you can join for as little as 99 cents a month. For my members, I will have a Ken Ham video out today. Um, oh my God. It's gourmet stupid. It really, really is gourmet stupid. I sometimes I think these people get dumber by the second. I really do. I think they get dumber by the second. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. But anyway, in my Kinham video, I found uh, a Georgia Purdom video, which Georgia also works for AIG, but um, I wanted to put a little snippet of her video in there, and I decided, like right in the middle of doing it, I'm just gonna do an entire video on that video. I may have to do more than one video because it's like a fucking hour long. No way I'm I'm spending an hour debunking that shit. I mean there's just no way. Um if you would like to help me because I'm going through a hard time right now, um because of the way my seizures are, I can't get a job right. I can't even start looking for a job right now. Um, if you would like to make a one time donation, and I'm sorry to have to ask, I usually don't ask, but if you want to make a one time donation, you can do so via PayPal. My PayPal link is uh, in the description, or it will be in the description as soon as the video posts. I don't know. So anyway, so yeah, so please, go ahead and do that. Okay, so, controlling by fear is the title of this video. Um, Now it's important to note that not all Christian sects believe in the concept of hell. Uh, but a lot of them do, and that's the stick. The carrot is heaven, and the stick is hell. Some people believe, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, that if you don't believe in their particular religion, you just cease to exist. Um, you know, so um, that's that's how some are, but most are like, you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe. And this is a fear tactic, okay? Plain and simple. It's just a fear tactic. They want you to be afraid. I know, Zebra, isn't it? But you know what? I figured it out. She only got that doctorate so that she can be taken seriously. However, she does know that she's lying. She does know that because you can't have a legitimate doctorate in um molecular biology without knowing that you're lying about about well, I mean evolution, but I mean not even that, you know. And I point out in my video that I just pointed for members that, young earthers seem to think it's the quote unquote evolutionists who need the earth to be old for the theory to work. But James Hutton in 1785 presented his findings to the Royal Society of Edinburgh, which is like what, 60 some odd years before Darwin. But yeah, they want their cash coming in. And the only way, because if they don't, then they have to get legitimate jobs. And they can't get a legitimate job because all they're good at is conning people. And come on, anybody can figure that out. I'm sorry. Yeah. And you know what else? You know what um started me down the road of, I guess, discovery? I was still a young earther when I went to college. Okay. And education is the death knell for um young earth. But, you know, I don't really give a fuck why people stop believing in the young earth. As long as they do, I don't care. You know, as long as they don't go believing some other absurd nonsense. But anyway, I started reading about these dates in archaeology about um um 40,000 years and stuff like that, you know. And I'm like, the earth is only 10,000 years old. How can that be? And I was consistently finding dating to 30, 40, sometimes even 50,000 years old because you can stretch carbon dating depending upon your method and what you're dating. You can stretch it to 50,000, but it's not too often that that happens. So, so I started seeing all these dates that disagreed with the young earth, right? And I thought to myself, well, why don't I explore more? Because if, hang on, because if what I believe is really true, and at that point it wasn't really my belief, okay? It was what I was taught to believe, which is two different things, right? Most people don't think about what they believe. They just believe whatever it is they're told to believe. So I started thinking, well, if what I believe is true, because I thought I really believed this stuff, right? That I wasn't just, you know, um, believing it because my parent, my parents passed it on to me. Well, it was more my mom, and um, the church uh that I grew up in. My dad didn't really care. He never really was a big church goer. He just did it to make my mom happy. So anyway, um he so I started thinking, if what I believe is true, then um it'll stand the questioning that I have. That's what I thought, you know. I've always been kind of different in that way, not really very controllable, you know. Um so um and so and I know some atheists that were yuckers in the past, like Holy Kool-Aid. They still fear hell and all that, but I don't. I really don't. Um, because I know it's not real. It's made up, you know? I mean, so I started down a path of discovery, right? And by the end of my path of discovery, I was no longer a young earther. I had changed my beliefs to an old earth theology. Still a Christian. Yuckers are going to say, unless you're yucker, you can't be a Christian. Uh, to hell with them. But anyway, um, still a Christian, but an old earther, right? And then my minor was anthropology, which is why I was taking the archaeology courses. And I needed to take some biological anthropology courses. And I started learning about uh, human evolution because that's what anthropology deals with, or biological anthropology, I should say, deals with human evolution. And so I was like, ah, I guess I'm a theistic evolutionist now because there's no way I can argue with the data, you know, and yeah, Nevermore. That sounds great, doesn't it? That sounds awesome. But yeah. So anyway, um so then I was a theistic evolutionist. And that worked for a very, very, very long time. That worked for me, you know. Eh, But then I started having theological questions. It was no longer about um does this jive with reality? It was more the theological problems with Christianity that I had. Um, so, and I learned more about that, you know, and then, I really couldn't tell you the moment I stopped being a Christian and became an atheist. See, that's the thing. You know, Christians think either you never were a Christian, which I don't really blame them for that. We can blame fucking Paul for that, okay? Thank you very much, Paul, you fucking moron. So anyway, but yeah, um, so I can't really blame them for that because that's part of their religion is believing if you left us, you were never a part of us to begin with. But anyway, I don't give a shit. It's not my problem. But anyway, I'm sorry. Um So anyway, somehow Christians, the ones who will accept that you atheists really were Christian at one point, those types of Christians think, for some odd reason, that one night you go to bed a Christian and the next morning you wake up an atheist. That's not how it works. I mean, most of us have been through the deconversion process. We know that that isn't how it works. But for a person who hasn't been through the deconversion process, I can see why that might be a thing in their mind, you know. But yeah. Um but yeah, Georgia was like, there are people are leaving the church, and I'm like, you think that's a bad thing? I'm like, you've made me the happiest person today, even with the grief of losing my dad, right? Because I'm like, that is awesome news that people are beginning to walk away from this bullshit. And that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. If you want to read it metaphorically, fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to read it as cultural history, fine. I don't have a problem with that either. It is a cultural work. My problem comes when you want to take it literally. That's when my problem comes in. And, I've said this before on this channel, and I'll probably say it many more times. The earth, the earth. I'm sorry. I'm discombobulated still. I think after a few more minutes I'll go. But anyway, the Bible never says how old the earth is. I made a video on this as say a response to John Pendleton. It actually comes from a bishop in the Catholic Church. He decided to add up all the ages of the Bible, which doesn't work, obviously, because they're fictional characters to begin with, right? But the the practice at that time was to give the heroes of the culture long lives, right? That was the that was just the general practice of the culture back then, to give heroes long lives. And but I find it funny. I find it hilarious that they will diss on the Catholic Church, right? Right. Catholics don't have anything right. blah, 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 blah. Yet they borrow two main ideas from the Catholic Church, except a few Protestant sects that are Arian. Okay. Um, Not Arian with a Y, Arian with a Y. I mean, not Arian with a Y, Arian with a Y. I. So when I'm talking about Arian, I'm talking about non Trinitarians. So they borrowed the Trinity from the Catholic Church, right? And they borrow the young earth, which not even the Catholics believe in anymore, from the Catholic Church. And it just it blows my mind that these people can't even see, they can't even comprehend how stupid this is. They can't even think, well, you know, if the Catholic Church is wrong, it's wrong, and we should, just throw everything out and build up by scratch. No, they didn't do that. I mean, come on. Anyway, I am okay. I'm starting to get really, really, really tired. Um, so I'm gonna let you go. Don't forget, hit the like button, leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm. You can become a member for as low as 99 cents a month. That'll give you um, early access to um, filmed videos. And I will see you later. Not really sure when I'm going to stream again. Hopefully, sometime soon. It just depends. All right. Night, everybody. You take care of yourself.